Today, we're going to walk through the long and short stitch. This stitch is a fantastic fill stitch. It's great for blending floss colors and for filling in large spaces in your project. Let's check it out. For this example, I'm using all 6 strands of my 6-strand floss. I have a pretty large space to fill and I want to fill it quickly. If you have a smaller area to fill, consider using fewer strands, like 2 or 3. To get started, bring your needle up at the edge of the space you'd like to fill. Bring your needle back down 1 stitch length away from where you started. With this technique, we're generally going to be filling the space from edge to edge 1 row at a time. It's traditional to alternate long and short stitches across the row, therefore giving us the long and short stitch. I personally like to mix it up a little and randomize my stitch lengths. Long, short, medium, short, you get the idea, and so on and so forth. This helps create a more blended look, but do what works best for you and your project. When working along an edge, be sure your stitches meet right at the border to keep the integrity of the shape you are filling. Continue alternating stitches until you reach the edge of your fill space and you're ready to start the next row. When you reach the next row, you're going to continue alternating stitch lengths, but this time you're going to split the stitches from the first row. To do this, you're going to bring your needle up so it's a stitch length above the stitches in the first row. Try to align the new stitch just above the stitch in the first row, if you can. Next, bring your needle down through the stitch below it in the first row. Aim to bring that needle down in the half closest to the second row. I usually aim for the closest third or so. Note, I personally like to alternate the direction when creating my stitches, aka I bring my needle up on the same side as where my previous stitch ended, rather than starting from the same direction each time. This helps conserve floss, especially when I'm using all 6 strands. But there are no hard and fast rules, so do what works best for you. As long as you're diversifying your stitch lengths and splitting the previous row of stitches, you're on the right track. If you find little gaps, it's okay to go ahead and add an extra stitch or 2 to fill in those spaces. Continue creating long and short stitches across the second row, splitting stitches from the first row. This splitting really helps create a unified look across the space. Once you reach the last row, remember to stop your stitches at the border. This will help keep a unified edge and maintain the integrity of the original shape that you're filling. This will likely be a crisp edge, so you'll need to end your stitches along the same line. So continue splitting and creating long and short stitches until the area is filled. Now that you've seen how this stitch works, let's see it in action. I've started this alphabet project and I wanted to show you how I use the long and short stitch to fill it in. I'm changing colors as I work across the letter B, so I'll show you how I blend this last mauvey lavender color into the peachy color from the previous row. Let's check it out. There you have it, the long and short stitch. You can use this stitch to fill in spaces within your project, especially if you want to blend colors, floss colors, or try just something a little bit different. It's a nice stitch that is a little bit less formal. It's a little bit more natural. I like to use this stitch for my projects when I just want a nice blended look. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give it a like and follow along for even more hand embroidery content. I'll see you in the next video.